welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classic Non-Classics. This is episode number 2360 and Doubleshot number 2254. I have a Masterworks Captain America trade talk along with some issues from Iron Man. Now, this is basically Masterworks Captain America Volume 10, which collect issues 184 to 200, along with A number 3 and Captain America Bicentennial Battles. This is basically the start of Jack Kirby's return to the book that was not here very long. Not really. Basically, after 200, he leaves 14 issues later and does one annual. He's back with this book. By the way, he's back at Marv for 2 years. And if you think about it, the only thing I've actually reviewed from his return at Marv was just this Eternals book. I have not reviewed Machine Man. There's this book here in particular. Devil Dinosaur, 2001 AD. He was only back at Marv for 2 years. He didn't do a lot per se, but he did a good amount. So, aside from this book, the only other books left to go for him is just Machine Man, Devil Dinosaur, and 2000 Space Odyssey. And that's it. That is literally all that is left to go for his time for his return at Marvel. I have discussed also a Silver Surfer book as well. So I have heard the reason why he left because he was being disrespected at Marvel. That's why he left. But hey, he put out good quality work. Mostly put this is the Mad Bomb story arc. That's mostly what these issues are. Of course, you have Jack Kirby and draw this book. And he pretty much does everything. Now, this book covers a period of January 1976 and includes in August 1976. Of course, includes the Bicentennial one-shot. The end comes right after Bicentennial one-shot. Yeah, this further was the Mad Bomb story. It's like, yeah, we're back to classic Jack Kirby on, well, Captain America. And this story arc is just utterly fantastic. It leads into the awesomeness that is basically issue 200. Which you can think of it as basically Captain America's first, you can think of it as his true 100 issue for the series because, well, actually you can think 199 is kind of like that, but 200, wow. 200. The storyline itself is just really good twists and turns. It's like Jack Kirby at his best when he does Captain America. Bicentennial Battles is basically a one-shot that he did this period of time. It's basically multi-chapter, which kind of details some classics, basically retelling some similar stories. And then we have Annual number 3, where it's basically the thing with the black hole. Now, who does Cap fight in these issues per se? For this Mad Bomb story arc, we have Return of Captain America. Well, he fights this group known as the Elite. Yeah, and they're pretty much the main villains of this pretty much most of the story arc, and they do appear years later. Yeah, they appear for pretty much basically for issues 194, 196, and 200. 197, meanwhile, is still part of the Mad Bomb story arc. It still deal with the Elite. Because that's pretty much who Cap is fighting. Cap and Falcon fighting for pretty much this whole story, fighting members of this group called the Elite. And of course he goes to... Then we have a flashback to... Well... Yeah, 198 is just a love story. She's only here for like 2 issues, Carol Hardy. She's here for 198, 199, and that's it for her. She's basically written out the series. Yeah, and then we have of course, the Awesomeness Day is issue 200. And, of course, basically, yeah, and then we have, of course, the Annual. most of the part for this one is basically Cap, basically where he just there's a guy called Jim Hendricks who's only here for this one annual, takes on this creature as empathy. Yeah, it's like an alien species, and I'm thinking, really? This is what Jack Kirby does for his first annual for Captain America. By the way, in case you're curious about the first two annuals, they essentially put reprints. Yeah, that's simple what they are. They're just reprints. Yep. Now, when does the Captain America Treasure book comes in? Well, let's see. I think I might find a way. Let's see if I can find it here. Here it is. It's just a lot of stories, basically, that he just worked on. It's mostly basically exploring it. The whole thing of the Captain America Pakistan Battles, because basically at the time it was the U.S.'s basically 200th anniversary, 200th birthday at the time, so he figured out why not do it. Book is really good. This book roughly a 10 out of 10. Next up, we're going to go through 13 straight issues of Iron Man, starting with issue 145. Yep. Now, Damage Lee does all the writing here. Bob Lane does co-artwork with John Romita Jr. Yes. Excuse me. Now, these issues are technically in trade. It's basically the next Masterworks after the one I just did. As for why in the world basically that's on here, I have no idea. Now, Bethany Cave in these issues, she does get kind of written out of this series because of what replaced her husband. Yeah, pretty much by issue 153, she's briefly written out of the series, pops up one more issue, comes back a little bit later. Yeah, pretty much in these issues in particular, she finds out her husband is alive. Yes, and she has to go overseas. Now, of course, basically, yeah, Iron Man 145 do a group called the Raiders, and 146 to return with Backlash, and 147 still doing Backlash. He, of course, is here, if you're really curious, though. Backlash is here in these very issues. He's here until issue, 149 comes back, and 150, 155. And that's pretty much it for him. He's, basically, someone who fights for these issues. Because why not? Yep. And then 148 basically fights has his company under siege. Now, in the case of 149 to 150, this is essentially what you can call this Iron Man versus Doctor Doom Round 1, which basically is two-part, that basically is 149 and 150 of the series that involves going time traveling back in time to the time of King Arthur. And I believe this is also kind of the introduction to Morgan Le Fay in present day. Yes, I believe so. It's called Doom Quest as the storyline's going. Now, basically, Doctor Doom previous appeared in the issue of Dazzler. Yes, frickin' Dazzler of all things. Yep, Morgan Le Fay Now, if you're really curious, though, the issues time period, it's January of 1981, and we conclude in January 1982. Basically, roughly a year's worth of comics. And you're thinking, huh, that's interesting. Yeah, and by the way, also, basically the office of Tony Stark gets damaged. So in the very next issue, he basically is ordered construction of a brand new office, thanks to being damaged by Doctor Doom. Well, of course, you could easily, I don't know, just say that, well, Doctor Doom's responsible for blowing up my office. I'm going to charge him for it. Nope, he basically builds his own office by himself with a new penthouse suite. And, of course, his secretary, Bobby Albergeist, she's basically using a couple crates as a desk. Yeah. But it's a good, basically, like, jumping off point. Yeah, and also Ant-Man is this issue. Yes, Ant-Man. Yes, Scott Lang is this issue. Yeah, and just a one-story thing. Most people, you can think of 151 as just an aftermath issue. And then basically, get this. And this is really cool. And then in issue 152, we receive Return of the Living Laser. First time he appeared since Avengers 1666, which I have covered this one already in the one of our Master. I think I covered this in one of the Epic collections. Yes, that was his most recent appearance. Yeah, and we also introduced to Iron Man's new stealth armor. Yes, his very first stealth armor, which he doesn't use very much at all. No, not really. It's only here, like, after this is pops against, like, it's not a replacement armor per se, but, excuse me, but most of the point he's still using the Mark IV armor. Now, the Mark V was a space armor. The Hydra armor, that's actually introduced a little bit later. We'll get to that debut. Yep. I have to deal with the Living Laser for 2 issues. And at 154, he takes on Unicorn. Like, okay, so we're going back. We're seeing Iron Man these classic foes, like first Living Laser, now Unicorn. Unicorn had last appeared back in, prior to this very 154. His previous appearance was back in 135. And the next time is by Iron Man until Anno 13. After this, he does not appear very much after this. No, not really. His appearances are very sporadic after this issue. Yes, and this is kind of strange, though. Like, he next appears in Marvel Age number 1. Then he also appears in Captain America 15, Iron Man Annual 13, Marvel Heroes Line number 1, Code of Honor number 3, issue Deadpool, a 2-issue of Thunderbolts, an issue of Marvel Channel Monsters, Myth, and Monsters, Iron Man the Armor Wars, Captain America 619, the Infinity Heist miniseries, issue 4, Astonishing Ant-Man, and of course the volume 6 for Iron Man, issue of the Marvels, and recently appeared in Mutants Legion. So I've kind of in a way covered pretty much, like, at this point, almost all of his appearances today, and that's kind of strange about the character. He's a really cool character. I'm surprised he was not around very much. In 155, basically, this is where we rescue the Backlash again, and also we deal with, well, yeah. So, we get more stuff about the Cave here, where she gets essentially written out of the series to be with her husband. Yeah. We also first appearance of the Mauler. Yes, the Mauler makes his debut here in 156. He is a character who very rarely appears in the comics. Like, after this one issue, his next appearance is in Marvel Team 136. An issue Peter Parker's Second Son comes back in this book in 225. Yeah, and he actually made a return in Iron Man for when he was director of S.H.I.E.L.D. during the Matt Fraction run. Yeah, a character who appeared 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times prior to this. Matt Fraction brings back sort of a minor recurring character. Yep. And then Tony Stark gives us Spores in 157. And that's it. Yeah, these are really good issues. I thoroughly enjoy them. And the next time I talk about Iron Man will be an actual epic collection. Yep. I'm going to give these issues a 10 out of 10. Now, was there any annuals released this period of time? I'm not sure. Let me take a look at that. I think there may have been. This was 1981. I think there may have been annual. I may have missed it. No, there was no annual release this period of time. Nope, definitely was not. I just checked it. There's no annual release in 1981 at all. Last year was released in 1977. Next was not until 1982, which that probably covered in the next Epic Collection. Yep, but yeah, that's pretty much it for particular view. Next up is going to be, well, Bleach. Okay, next video. Bye.